I'm Will Martel. I was like that kid that needed an escape. So the escape for me, and this all started back in kindergarten and going through elementary school, was the movies. And the first guy, when I was feeling down on myself, and I was like, because your mom, when your dad's not really around. I mean, and my dad, in spots, like showed up, and I got to spend some time with him and everything. But he really didn't understand me. He didn't understand what kind of kid I was. But mom did. So mom knew. Well, and mom was a moviegoer. So she went to the movies as much as she possibly could. I was just so surprised that, she enjoyed it so much, she never really pursued it. So the only guy at that time when I was a kid that made me feel like anything was possible was Bruce Lee. Because he was a little guy. He was 5'7". He was 140 pounds. He was ripped. He was good looking. And that was the guy I wanted to be. Him. And when I was a kid, that was my hero. Period. There was no one else. And then when I got introduced to Bruce Lee, it was at it was a film. It was like a Bruce Lee film festival. I guess it was in 1973, and I believed he had died on July 20th of '73. And I remember a few months later at the Mac Vickers in Chicago, there was a festival, and they showed Fist of Fury, aka Big Boss, Chinese Connection, aka Fist of Fury. Yep. And they had shown, I believe it was Into the Dragon. Yeah. So it was those three movies. Or was it Way of the Dragon? It was Into the Dragon. Yeah. It was Into the Dragon. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget, like, you could not take your eyes off of him when he came on screen. There was just something about his presence that when you seen him, us kids in the theater getting excited, jumping down on seats, watching this hero. And it was something that had taken me away from the reality of growing up and everything, where I was just like, man, you know what? I want to be like this guy. So that was my first introduction and little seed that was planted to do what I'm doing right now. And then came the elementary school and going through those things and having crushes on girls and all of the cool kids. All of the cool kids were on this side. I was more on this side with the misfits and the outcast, and the island of lost toys, right? The toys that didn't get played with or anything. That I was in that. I was in that crew. I mean, the guys that got overlooked and things like that. So school wasn't bad until test time came up. I wasn't great at taking tests, English, math, okay. But it was one of those things where, educational wise, that wasn't really into school. I mean, you had bookworms. I mean, my sister, she wasn't a bookworm. She was more of an artist. But, when it came time, for her to do things, it was like she did it, But for me, it was like elementary school, great, getting to graduate, great. I remember that my eighth grade graduation. Mom was like She barely made enough money, to like really